please.
Past our difficulties. All right. Call to order the regular council meeting for the town of Evansville. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Chad Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Candace Machado has to be excused tonight. Councilmember Michael Scott has to be excused tonight. Councilmember Daisha Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Greg Lustig.
Here.
Town Attorney Scott Murray.
Here.
Town Treasurer Lexi Erickson.
Here.
Chief of Police Mike Thompson and Fire Chief Leo Mawson both asked to be excused tonight. Public Works Director Robert Llewellyn.
Here.
Town Clerk Janelle Underwood and rest of citizens. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 1, consent agenda. Approval of the minutes for April 24th, 2023. Approval of business licenses, Sound and Cellular Systems, and Titan Electric. Approval of catering permit, which is Happy Day Liquors, and approval of the bills. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
All motion.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 2, ordinance number 3, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, council brought before you tonight is ordinance 3-2023. This is an ordinance granting the electric utility franchise and general utility easement to Rocky Mountain Power. It's brought before you tonight on third and final reading. And the franchise fee is set at 3.5%, which is the same that it has been for the past 25 years. Brought before you tonight on third and final reading.
Questions? Do I have a motion to approve ordinance number 3, 2023? Do
I so move.
I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Item 3, David Holsheiser, the Youth Crisis Center. Absolutely, come on up. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, folks. Get my notes here. All right, Edwards Town Council, thank you for having me so much today. Thank you also for the opportunity back, I believe it was in February, to do a presentation a little bit about our services and so forth for the Youth Crisis Center. So the reason I wanted to come in today was to have an opportunity to touch base in regards to a budgetary request for the Youth Crisis Center from the town of Evansville. The letter that you see in front of you is a revised tracking, 9-month tracking for the Youth Crisis Center, specifically dealing with the town of Evansville at-risk youth. Originally, back when I was here in February, we talked about what the numbers that we were seeing from the town of Evansville. And I just wanted to bring to your attention that those numbers have actually risen quite a bit. So currently right now we've seen 32 parent placements and 7 Evansville Police Department placements with us, which really takes our projected up to 42 kids per year for the parent placements and 9 per year for the Evansville Police Department over the 12-month average. Previously we're here, it was 34 that we had estimated for parent placements and 6 per year. So you can see that the need is starting to grow a little bit even within your own community of at-risk youth. And again, one of the other things that has kind of risen with us is we're seeing a little bit longer length of stay. Back when I was in February, we were looking at 8.5 days of length of stay. Now we're at 9.5 days length of stay. So one of the biggest things I wanted to share is that we really are doing good work at the Youth Crisis Center. We are excited about our future. We're excited to continue to work with the youth in our community. And one of the struggles that we are having is at the state level. So the struggle is real in that our representatives and our senators are looking at our youth crisis shelters across Wyoming as a community resource. And they're calling into question how much funding they can begin to continue to add to these type of programs without a commitment from the local communities. So I wanted to share just a brief conversation that we're part of WISA, which is the Wyoming Youth Services Association. That is an association that all crisis shelters, group homes, and entities like us are throughout the state part of this, because we can't actually do any type of lobbying. So we actually have staff within WISA to do that for us, to speak with representatives. And what we're hearing back from the state, and this comes specifically from Lloyd Larson, who's one of the Health and Human Services Committee representatives. He says that there needs to be much more discussion around funding at the local level. The responsibility, should it lie with the state, or should it lie more with the local communities, as it is a community service, so that communities need to begin to share that responsibility more. We've approached the state in regards to increases in budgets, and this is part of the response that we get back from them. So when I come to you folks, I also have approached the town of Mills, the city of Casper we're working with for the grant process right now, and also the Natrona County Commissioners. We come to ask for the community support, because we do serve a lot of kids from all over central Wyoming and out of Natrona County. When kids come to us, we provide a lot of stuff, a lot of case management, life skills training, mental health assessments, substance abuse stabilizations, all meals, transportation to school. If they can't make it to school, we actually do send them. We actually have school that comes to us from the Natrona County School District. So there's a lot when kids come to see us. And we're just, unfortunately, we are seeing more kids, not only from the Evansville, but we're seeing more kids from Mills. We're seeing more kids from the city of Casper and the surrounding county area, bar none, Edgerton, Midwest. It's just a huge need. And I guess the budgetary request that we were asking for would be about $20,000 this year to help offset the costs, kind of on an ongoing basis, so that we can continue to serve this community and serve it at the best that we can. I know that it would be kind of a first time for the town of Evansville, and you know, it's something that we really do believe strongly in helping kids and continue to help kids. So one of the things I did want to talk about was a lot of the mental health stuff that's now coming out through the state, especially with the Governor's Mental Health Summit. It is becoming a priority for Wyoming and communities, not only with adult populations with mental health and substance abuse, but also the youth and the at-risk youth and mental health and substance abuse. Wyoming is the top state in the nation when it comes to youth suicides. Having worked many suicides when I was with the Natrona County Sheriff's Office, and a lot of youth suicides, it's tough. I'm going to tell you that right now. And that's one of the things that we're looking at, trying to help with our counseling, our mental health services, and our substance abuse services as well. I wanted to share some statistics with you. And this comes from, again, our Wyoming Youth Services Association. We actually do every year, we call it a snapshot of the kiddos that are in congregate care, or all of our care at one time within the state of Wyoming. So out of all of the children that were, and all the youth that were in the facilities as of November 2nd, 2022, these are the statistics involving those kids. 61% of those kids had been diagnosed with a depressive disorder of some kind. 37% had been diagnosed with conduct disorder or oppositional defiant disorder. 55% had one or more failed placements in the foster system. And that's why oftentimes you'll see kids come to the Youth Crisis Center, because foster placements are not necessarily in that age group as often as they are for younger kids. 39% had attempted suicide or planned to attempt suicide. 72% had suffered some form of abuse or neglect. 43% had suffered from sexual abuse. 47% had a history of personal substance abuse. We are seeing that the substance abuse affecting our kids, the age group is going down. We used to see it more 14, 15, but now we're seeing it 11 and 12-year-olds. It's affecting all of our kids. And I don't think the town of Evansville is immune to that either. So it's truly affecting all of our communities. 68% came from families with substance abuse problems. 44% came from families in which one or more parents had been in jail for an extended period of time. And this last one, is a pretty significant percentage. But this is why it's important and critical for agencies like ours to exist and to partner with local communities, because we have the ability to help with this aspect. 74% had been prescribed psychotropic medication of some type for an underlying mental health or substance abuse issue. We are able to help medication. We're able to help get them to doctors. We're able to help work with them with their therapists, their counselors, to get them the medication. That's part of what we do. That's part of how we help kids, is that when they're in our facility, we ensure that they're taking their medications, getting to the doctor, getting to their appointments. And all that does take funding. So I'm going to say that the funding is a part of it. It wouldn't be good for me as the executive director not to come ask you for some support. I feel that it's important. I feel that our mission is extremely important. And I don't see any greater cause than helping kids at risk, because really, truly, they are the most vulnerable in our society right now. And with that, I would love to answer any questions that you may have as to how we operate, anything that I can share with you about our programs. I would ask if you would consider our request for help in terms of offsetting some of the costs when it comes to housing and providing services to the Evansville at-risk youth.
Questions for Mr. Wolfheiser?
The numbers I did lay out, basically, the 28,000 that we're asking for is only a portion of that 111,000. What we do is we take and we leverage that money with the state monies that we get, which still leaves us a deficit of about $55,000, and we usually cover that in our fundraising efforts and our grant writing. So we're not asking any of these entities to take on the full amount. Our promise to the city councils, to the town councils, to the county commissioners, is that we're going to continue to robustly fundraise and also go and seek grants in order to help our organization continue to operate. But with the direction that the state has given us from the state legislature, their opinion is that they're starting to view crisis shelters as a community resource. Now, without us, there is no place else in Casper for these kids to go. We are licensed through the Department of Family Services to do what we do. With the closure of Mimi's house, and I need to clarify with Mimi's house, they were not licensed through the state like we were. We've been in business for nearly 40 years. Next year will actually be our 40-year anniversary. And we have a long track record of successfully helping kids and being there in times of crisis, and with group home services, substance abuse treatment, and mental health treatment.
Do you mind me asking how much you asked for out of the other municipalities?
So the other municipalities, we've asked for $20,000 from the town of Mills as well. With the city of Casper, because they're our largest clients, we asked for help with about $100,000 a year for help, because we do see a lot more of those kids. And we've also asked for $50,000 from the county commissioners. There's a supplemental program that we're looking at asking the county commissioners for, which is mainly for court-placed kids, where we're seeing a lot more kids placed with us from court with district judges or circuit court judges, because they're trying to prevent them from going to JDC. And to be honest with you, YCC is a good place for those kids, because we can continue with services, we can keep them in school, we can continue to provide things that maybe the detention center necessarily can't.
Thank you.
You know.
Any other questions?
What is the progress in city of Casper and town of Mills, or city of Mills? Where are they sitting at as far as?
So the town of Mills, we are in their preliminary budget for the same amount that we've requested here. The city of Casper actually has a meeting tomorrow night in regards to our request. They realized the amount of work that we do. We're considered a critical resource for the city of Casper. And we would say that for the town of Evansville too, along with the town of Mills and the Natrona County, with the sheriff's office, because when you have a law enforcement officer that has a kid, you have to get basically the permission from the district attorneys in order to actually take them up to juvenile detention. And even with that, there has to be certain parameters that they meet. So when they don't have anywhere to go, we are the first stop. Usually we are the first stop well before JDC is, because these kids aren't appropriate for detention. And that model is they're starting to move away from that model. So.
Thank you very much.
I thank you
Appreciate
all
your
for your time and hearing me out, and I very much do appreciate it. So,
Thanks for
thank
coming.
you.
Take it under consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any public comments this evening? Public comments? Any public comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned at 7:20.